Namaste. Welcome to Samskriti. We are now in Sarga 4 of Kishkinda Kandam in the Adhyatma Ramayana series. Rama and Lakshmana spent the rainy season most happily, wandering among different caves of precious stones and subsisting with great satisfaction on ripe fruits and roots available there in abundance. Seeing the dark rain-bearing clouds impelled by winds, Rama was amazed because those clouds with peals of thunder and flashes of lightning appeared like herds of elephants with golden seeds spread on their top. On the grassy mountain surface could be seen deer and other docile animals who were happy and healthy by virtue of feeding upon fresh green grass, as also birds of different kinds. Seeing Rama's presence there, they stood looking at him with wide open eyes. Like hermits ever immersed in meditation, those birds and beasts stood there gazing at Rama. Birds and beasts who were verily Siddhas who had come to serve the Supreme Being as he moved about in the form of a man amidst those forests and mountains. One day, when Rama, after his meditation, was sitting in solitude in a contemplative mood, Lakshmana, son of Sumitra, approached Rama in all affection and humility and said, "O Rama, by your teachings given to me earlier, the doubts of my mind born of avidya have been cleared. I now wish to know about how karma yogis offer their ritualistic worship to you. This path is always claimed by the yogins as a way for the attainment of mukti. Besides, Narada, Vyasa, and the lotus born Brahma speak of it as the path of liberation that confers mukti alike to Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, as also to women and Shudras. O Rajendra, I am your devotee and your brother, so please describe to me the means of universal access to mukti so that the whole world besides myself may be benefited thereby." Then Sri Rama started preaching to Lakshmana. "O Raghunandana, the ways of my ritualistic worship are endless. Still, I shall give you a brief exposition of it in its essential parts. After being invested with the sacred thread according to the traditions of the family, a person must get initiated into my mantra and worship from a proper guru. He should then proceed to perform my worship as shown by the teacher with deep devotion and attention. Worship can be offered to me as residing in the heart or fire or an image or idol or the sun or the shalagrama. First, an aspirant should cleanse his body by taking a morning bath. He should utter appropriate mantras, Vedic and Tantric, while bathing and apply mud, ash, or other ingredients allowed by scriptures for purifying the body. Then he should perform his routine daily rituals of worship such as Sandhya, etc. With a pure mind, he should first make a firm resolve, that is, utter the Sankalpa for the successful performance of the rite. And then, treating his Guru as no different from me, he should worship him with devotion. If my idol is like a stone, for example like Shalagrama, then ceremonial bath of the deity with water should be performed. If it is like a consecrated image, as one finds in temples, then it should be wiped, first with a wet cloth and then with a dry cloth. Then offerings should be made with flowers and auspicious fragrances. My worship done in this manner is quick to give rewards, provided it is done with purity and sincerity of mind and adherence to the procedures of worship according to the tradition as imparted by the Guru. Decoration of idol is most pleasing to me. If the worship is done through the medium of fire, then oblations with ghee accompanied with other ingredients should be made. If the sun is the medium of worship, then a ritualistic design to represent the sun must be made on the altar and worship should be offered on it. Even mere water offered to me by my devotee with firm faith and devotion is pleasing to me. Not to speak then of how pleased I am when worshipped with flowers, sandal paste, incense, and offerings of fruits, sweets, and other delicious preparations. Then the worshipper should sit on a seat made of kusha grass at the bottom and deerskin and cloth over it. He should sit facing the deity or the Ishtadeva with a purified and focused mind. Then he should meditate on the 24 divine names of the Lord and contemplate on the Tattvajnana. After that, he should mentally establish the live image of the Lord in my idol along with the chanting of holy mantras. In a similar manner, he should concentrate and firmly visualize my presence in the idol or statue or portrait. This is Nyasa. One should then keep in front of him a kalasha, a water pot on the left, and flowers, etc. on the right. Similarly, 4 vessels should be arranged for Arghya, Padya, Achamana, and Madhuparka. Then one should meditate upon my conscious microcosmic life form in his heart lotus, which is pure and radiant as the sun. Then one should perceive that his whole body is infused or pervaded by it. Then he should transfer every day that divine consciousness within oneself into the idol or image to be worshipped and feel it as a living presence. Then one should adore me with great sincerity according to one's means with Padya, Arghya, Achamana, Snana, Vastra and Vibhushana. Those with plenty of means should worship me routinely every day with offerings of Karpura, Kunguma, Agaru, Chandana and fragrant flowers while chanting my holy mantras. Besides this, he should pay obeisances to me by showing Nirajana, Dhupa, Deepa and various types of food offerings and sweets according to the way established and sanctioned by the Vedas. All the products should be offered daily with due reverence and great faith, as I, the Supreme Lord, is the consumer of whatever is offered with faith and sincerity. Those who are experts in mantra should every day make offerings in fire, that is Homa, in the proper way according to scriptural dictates. In a sacrificial pit designed as per the rules laid in Agastya Samhita, one who is well versed in agamas should make oblations of ghee and other ingredients with the chanting of Moola Mantra or the Purusha Sukta. Otherwise, one can perform the fire sacrifice in the fire lit according to Agnihotra by using offerings of cooked food, etc. While doing the Havana, one should contemplate on me, golden in color, decorated with divine ornaments, and as dwelling in the middle of the flame. After that, offerings should be made to my attendants too. Next, the worshipper should make silent repetition of my mantra with the mind dwelling on me. Then he should affectionately offer me betel leaves and then engage himself in dance, song, praise, chanting, and reading of the scriptures. Next, he should make a full prostration, contemplating on me, and accept my prasada with full devotion and respect. Then he should mentally keep my feet on his head and pray, asking me to save him from this terrible life and samsara of repeated births and deaths. With this prayer, one should make a prostration. Then, just as he brought out the deity from his consciousness for the purpose of worship, he should also take him back into himself according to the rite called Udvasa, and then he should lay to rest the idol or statue or portrait or image. If a man worships me in the way I have expounded, he will get fulfillment both in this world as well as in the afterworld after his death. When my devotee worships me every day in this way as a matter of routine and habit, he attains sarupya or salvation by getting my own form. There is no doubt about it. Whoever reads or hears the supremely holy, eternal, and esoteric exposition of my worship as given to you by myself, Rama, will attain the benefit of doing all forms of daily worship. Thus, the Supreme Being, incarnated as Sri Rama, on being asked, preached the doctrine of ritualistic worship to his brother Lakshmana, who was himself an incarnation of Adisesha. Then Sri Rama reverted back to his role as an ordinary human, and through power of his own Maya, he resumed to lament and grieve for Sita once again like any other ordinary man, and used to spend whole nights wailing, "O Sita," without any sleep. In the meantime, in Kishkindha, the most wise Hanuman had a private conversation with Sugriva, the king of monkeys. Hanuman said, "O king, listen, I shall speak to you about your welfare. Rama has shown such great favors to you, but it appears to me that you have forgotten all that like an ungrateful person. It was for you that he had slayed Vali, who was renowned for his bravery and strength in all the three worlds. You have been installed as king, and it was due to him that you got Tara, who is the most difficult to obtain. The high souled Rama, however, is living on the top of a mountain with his brother, and perhaps he may be eagerly awaiting your arrival with the news about Sita. But you seem to be unaware of these facts, being indulgent in women, exhibiting typical monkey like tendencies. After promising to find out the whereabouts of Sita, if you fail to do so, then you too will enter the jaws of death like Vali for being ungrateful. Hearing Hanuman's words, Sugriva was petrified with fear and told him, O Hanuman, what you say is correct. Now, on my orders, quickly send 10,000 swift and agile monkeys in all the 10 directions for the search for Sita. Please enforce this order of mine quickly. Let all the monkeys dwelling in the 7 continents be called. All of them should come here within a fortnight. Those who fail to do so will be condemned to death. Having given these orders to Hanuman, Sugriva went home. The intelligent and proficient minister that he was, Hanuman immediately put Sugriva's order into practice and instantly dispatched numerous monkey messengers in all the directions. Those chief monkey messengers, who were endowed with countless excellences like courage, quickness of movement like wind, and who were as huge as mountains, were duly honored and fully satisfied by various gifts and honors, and were then sent forth by Hanuman, the son of wind god, who was very eager to do Rama's work. Let's get on with the chanting now. Adhyatma Ramayane Kishkindhakande Chaturtha Sargaha Tatra Varshikadinani Raghavo Leelaya Maniguhasu Sancharan Pakvamula Palabhogatoshito Lakshmanena Sahito Vasatsukham Vatanunna Jalapurita Meghanantarasthanita Vaidyuta Garbhan Vikshya Vismaya Magad Gajayuthan Yadvadahita Sukanchana Kakshan Navaghasam Samaswadya Hrishta Pushta Mrigadvijaha Dhavanto Parito Ramam Vikshya Visparite Kshanaha न चलन्ति सदा ध्याननिष्ठा इव मुनीश्वराः रामं मानुषरूपेण गिरिकाननभूमिषु चरन्तं परमात्मानं ज्ञात्वा सिद्धगणा भुवि मृगपक्षिगणा भूत्वा राममेवानुसेविरे सौमित्रिरेकदा राममेकान्ते ध्यानतत्परं समाधिविरमे भक्त्या प्रणयाद्विनयान्वितः अब्रवीद्देवते वाक्यात् पूर्वोक्ताद्विगतो मम अनाद्यविद्यासम्भूतः संशयो हृदि संस्थितः इदानीं श्रोतुमिच्छामि क्रियामार्गेण राघव भवदाराधनं लोके यथा कुर्वन्ति योगिनः इदमेव सदा प्राहुर्योगिनो मुक्तिसाधनं नारदोऽपि तथा व्यासो ब्रह्मा कमलसम्भवः ब्रह्मक्षत्रादिवर्णानामाश्रमाणां च मोक्षदं स्त्रीशूद्राणां च राजेन्द्र सुलभं मुक्तिसाधनं तव भक्ताय मे भ्रात्रे ब्रूहि लोकोपकारकं श्रीराम उवाच मम पूजाविधानस्य नान्तोऽस्ति रघुनन्दन तथापि वक्ष्ये संक्षेपाद्यथावदनुपूर्वशः स्वगृहोक्तप्रकारेण द्विजत्वं प्राप्य मानवः सकाशात् सद्गुरोर्मन्त्रं लब्ध्वा मद्भक्तिसंयुतः तेन सन्दर्शितविधिर्मामेवाराधयेत् सुधीः हृदये वानले वार्चेत् प्रतिमादौ विभावसौ शालग्रामशिलायां वा पूजयेन्मामतन्द्रितः प्रातः स्नानं प्रकुर्वीत प्रथमं देहशुद्धये वेदतन्त्रोदितैर्मन्त्रैर्मृल्लेपनविधानतः सन्ध्यादिकर्म यन्नित्यं तत्कुर्याद्विधिना बुधः सङ्कल्पमादौ कुर्वीत सिद्ध्यर्थं कर्मणां सुधीः स्वगुरुं पूजयेद्भक्त्या मद्बुद्ध्या पूजको मम शिलायां स्नपनं कुर्यात् प्रतिमासु प्रमार्जनं प्रसिद्धैर्गन्धपुष्पाद्यैर्मत्पूजा सिद्धिदायिका अमायिकोऽनुवृत्त्या मां पूजये नियतव्रतः प्रतिमादिष्वलङ्कारः प्रियो मे कुलनन्दन अग्नौ यजेत हविषा भास्करे स्तण्डिले यजेत् भक्तेनोपहृतं प्रीत्यै श्रद्धया मम वार्यपि किं पुनर्भक्ष्य भोज्यादि गन्धपुष्पाक्षतादिकं पूजाद्रव्याणि सर्वाणि सम्पाद्यैवं समारभेत् चैलाजिनकुशैः सम्यगासनं परिकल्पयेत् तत्रोपविश्य देवस्य सम्मुखे शुद्धमानसः ततो न्यासं प्रकुर्वीत मातृका बहिरान्तरं केशवादि ततः कुर्यात् तत्त्वन्यासं ततः परं मन्मूर्तिर्पञ्जरन्यासं मन्त्रन्यासं ततो न्यसेत् प्रतिमादावपि तथा कुर्यान्नित्यमतन्द्रितः कलशं स्वपुरो वामे क्षिपेत् पुष्पादिदक्षिणे अर्घ्यपाद्यप्रदानार्थं मधुपर्कार्थमेव च तथैवाचमनार्थं तु न्यसेत् पात्रचतुष्टयं हृत्पद्मे भानुविमले मत्कलां जीवसंज्ञितां ध्यायेत् स्वदेहमखिलं तया व्याप्तमरिन्दम तामेवावाहयेन्नित्यं प्रतिमादिषु मत्कलां पाद्यार्घ्याशमनीयाद्यैः स्नानवस्त्रविभूषणैः यावत् शक्योपचारैर्वा त्वर्चयेन्माममायया विभवे सति कर्पूरकुङ्कुमागरुचन्दनैः अर्चयेन्मन्त्रवन्नित्यं सुगन्धकुसुमैः शुभैः दशावरणपूजां वै ह्यागमोक्तां प्रकारयेत् नीराजनैर्धूपदीपैः नैवेद्यैर्बहुविस्तरैः श्रद्धयोपहरेन्नित्यं श्रद्धाभुगहमीश्वरः होमं कुर्यात् प्रयत्नेन विधिना मन्त्रकोविदः अगस्त्येनोक्तमार्गेण कुण्डेनागमवित्तमः जुहुयान्मूलमन्त्रेण पुंसूक्तेनाथवा बुधः अथवा उपासनाग्नौ वा चरुणा हविषा तथा तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रक्यं दिव्याभरणभूषितं ध्यायेदनलमध्यस्थं होमकाले सदा बुधः पार्षदेभ्यो बलिं दत्त्वा होमशेषं समापयेत् ततो जपं प्रकुर्वीत ध्यायेन्मां यत वाक्स्मरन् मुखवासं च ताम्बूलं दत्त्वा प्रीतिसमन्वितः मदर्थे नृत्यगीतादि स्तुतिपाठादि कारयेत् प्रणमे दण्डवद्भूमौ हृदये मां निधाय च शिरस्याधाय मद्दत्तं प्रसादं भावनामयं पाणिभ्यां मत्पदे मूर्ध्नि गृहीत्वा भक्तिसंयुतः रक्ष मां घोरसंसारादित्युक्त्वा प्रणमेत्सुधीः उद्वासयेद्यथा पूर्वं प्रत्यग्ज्योतिषि संस्मरन् एवमुक्तप्रकारेण पूजयेद्विद्धिवद्यदि इहामूत्र च संसिद्धिं प्राप्नोति मदनुग्रहात् मद्भक्तो यदि मामेवं पूजां चैव दिने दिने करोति मम सारूप्यं प्राप्नोत्येव न संशयः इदं रहस्यं परमं च पावनं मयैव साक्षात् कथितं सनातनं पठत्यजस्रं यदि वा शृणोति यः स सर्वपूजाफलभाङ् न संशयः एवं परात्मा श्रीरामः क्रियायोगमनुत्तमम् पृष्टः प्राह स्वभक्ताय शेषांशाय महात्मने पुनः प्राकृतवद्रामो मायामालम्ब्य दुःखितः हासीतेति वदन्नैव निद्रां लेभे कथञ्चन एतस्मिन्नन्तरे तत्र किष्किन्धायां सुबुद्धिमान् हनुमान् प्राह सुग्रीवम् एकान्ते कपिनायकं शृणु राजन् प्रवक्ष्यामि तवैव हितमुत्तमं रामेण ते कृतः पूर्वम् उपकारो ह्यनुत्तमः कृतघ्नवत्वया नूनं विस्मृतः प्रतिभाति मे त्वत्कृते निहतो वाली वीरस्त्रैलोक्यसम्मतः राज्ये प्रतिष्ठितोऽसि त्वं तारां प्राप्तोऽसि दुर्लभां स रामः पर्वतस्याग्रे भ्रात्रा सह वसन् सुधीः त्वदागमनमेकाग्रमीक्षते कार्यगौरवात् त्वं तु वानरभावेन स्त्रीसक्तो नावबुध्यसे करोमीति प्रतिज्ञाय सीतायाः परिमार्गणं न करोषि कृतघ्नस्त्वं हन्यसे वालिवद्धृतं हनुमद्वचनं श्रुत्वा सुग्रीवो भयविह्वलः प्रत्युवाच हनुमन्तं सत्यमेव त्वयोदितं शीघ्रं कुरु ममाज्ञां त्वं वानराणां तरस्विनां सहस्राणि दशेदानी प्रेषयाशु दिशो दश सप्तद्वीपगतान् सर्वान् वानरानानयन्तु ते पक्षमध्ये समायान्तु सर्वे वानरपुङ्गवाः ये पक्षमतिवर्तन्ते ते वध्यामेन संशयः इत्याज्ञाप्य हनुमन्तं सुग्रीवो गृहमाविशत् सुग्रीवाज्ञां पुरस्कृत्य हनुमान् मन्त्रिसत्तमः तक्षणे प्रेषयामास हरीन्दशद्दिशः सुधीः अगणितगुणसत्त्वान् वायुवेगप्रचारान् वनचरगुणमुख्यान् पर्वताकाररूपान् पवनहितकुमारः प्रेषयामास दूतानतिरभसतरात्मा दानमानादितृप्तान् इति श्रीमध्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे किष्किन्धाकाण्डे 4th सर्गः।